Hi, Stephen. It's really nice to see you today. I appreciate you taking the important step of coming here. How are you feeling about starting our session today?
Hello. To be honest, I'm quite nervous. I've never really talked openly about
Mhm.
these issues before. It feels uncomfortable to acknowledge this out loud, and I'm worried about being judged.
Thank you for being so honest, Stephen. Feeling nervous is completely natural, and especially when you're talking about deep personal concerns. So please know that this is a safe, confidential space, and then my goal is to support you and understand your experience without judgment. I hope knowing this, helped ease your concerns at all.
Yeah, it does help to hear that clearly. It's reassuring. Thank you. I really do want to get help.
Yeah,
It's been difficult carrying this alone.
yeah. I'm glad to hear that it's a big step you have taken, and I commend you for your courage. Today, we will be completing some assessments together, and these are the tools that help us better understand your alcohol use and how it's impacting your life, and then areas we would focus on for your treatment so that you can set specific and actionable goals. How does that sound to you?
Yeah, it sounds like exactly what I need, and I'm ready to begin.
It's good. So let's start with exploring what brought you here today. In your own words, just describe what has specifically been happening.
Well, my drinking, as you know, has gotten
Hmm.
out of control. It feels like I started with good intentions,
Hmm.
planning just to have, one or
Hmm.
two drinks. But
Hmm.
then once I start,
Hmm.
I cannot stop myself, and then I end up drinking until I black out. I've woken up in strange places, unable to remember what happened. My
Hmm.
my wife Elena is really upset and angry, and I'm genuinely scared that I might lose her and my son.
Hmm.
My career is also struggling, and I just feel trapped.
So, what specific events have triggered these recent concerns?
Well, it's mainly been the heightened stress at work and how difficult it's become to control my drinking during business events, especially.
Okay, that sounds incredibly stressful, Stephen. Like, it seems like your drinking is significantly affecting multiple areas of your life, particularly your family and career, right? Let's examine your alcohol use more closely with some structured assessments that we are going to do today. So these tools, what they do is like they will help give us a clearer understanding of your situation and guide us towards effective solutions. So now we will use standardized assessments, okay? Like audit and test. I'll go through each questions. Please answer honestly based on your recent experiences. So let's start with the audit questions. So, how do you often have drink containing alcohol?
Um, like just the typically 4 to 5 times a week,
Mhm. So, how many drinks containing alcohol do you have on a typical day when you are drinking?
maybe 3 or 4 drinks.
Mhm. How often do you have six or more drinks on one occasion?
Mm, Not too much, but let's say
Mhm.
approximately once a month, especially during business events.
Okay. And how often during the last year have you found that you were not able to stop drinking once you had started?
I would say weekly, almost every time I'm at a networking event, that
Mhm.
happens.
Okay. So, how often during the last year have you failed to do what was normally expected from you because of drinking?
I'd say monthly, like I miss work or I'm late due to hangovers.
Mhm. Okay. How often during the last year have you had a feeling of guilt or remorse after drinking?
Uh, Less than monthly, but occasionally it has happened.
Mhm. And how often during the last year have you felt the feeling of guilt or remorse after drinking?
Almost weekly, like the guilt hits hard the next day, for sure.
Mhm. And how often during the last year have you been unable to remember, like what happened the night before because you had been drinking?
Mhm. I'd say weekly. and this is what really frightens me.
Mhm. And have you or someone else been injured because of your drinking habits?
Mm, yeah, yes. Within the past year, I've got
Mhm.
myself hurt during one of my blackouts.
Mhm. As a relative or a friend, or maybe a doctor or any other healthcare worker been concerned about your drinking, suggested you cut down?
Yes, I mean, Elena frequently expresses serious concerns about my drinking. So yeah,
Mhm. Okay, just give me a second so that I can check your scores. Okay, so Stephen, your audit scores indicates a high level of alcohol-related harm and dependency. How do you feel hearing this?
it's unsettling, but of course confirms my fears. It's
Yeah.
difficult seeing it laid out so clearly.
Mhm. Yeah. So let's move forward for the next set of questions. It's another screening tool which will help us to better understand your drinking habits. So it's called MAST. So let's go. So do you feel you are a normal drinker?
No, I feel like I've lost control for sure.
Mhm. Have you ever awakened this morning after some drinking the night before and found that you could not remember a part of the evening?
Yeah, for that happens more than I'd like to admit.
Has your wife, a friend, or other relatives ever worried or complained about your drinking?
Yeah, I mean, Elena complains often.
Mhm. And can you stop drinking without a struggle after one or two drinks?
No, once I start, it's very hard to stop.
Mhm. Do you ever feel bad about your drinking?
I would say yes, I feel guilty and regret all the time.
Mhm. And do your wife or parents think that you're a normal drinker?
I don't think so. Especially my wife. I doubt she definitely doesn't.
Mhm. Are you always able to stop drinking when you want to?
No, I would say that, and that's one of my biggest struggles.
Okay. And have you ever attended a meeting of, the Alcoholics Anonymous, double A?
No, not yet.
Mhm. And I just wanted to know, like, it's one of the questions. So, have you gotten into physical fights when drinking?
Once or twice at family gatherings, it
Hmm.
gets out of hand.
Hmm. And has your drinking ever created any problems between you and your wife?
Yes, there have been constant arguments and mistrusts for sure.
Hmm. And has any family member or close friend gone to anyone for help about your drinking?
My wife does, threaten to talk to my doctor about it. So yeah,
Hmm. Okay. And have you ever lost friends because of your drinking habits?
I have definitely lost touch with few people. So yes.
Hmm. Yeah. And then have you ever, like, because of your drinking habits, neglected your obligations, your family or your work for 2 or more days in a row?
I'd say so, yeah. I mean, during the bad
Hmm.
episodes, for sure, yes.
Hmm. And then also, do you drink before noon fairly often?
No, it's rarely. I mean, I've done it once or twice, but not
Okay.
often.
Okay. Let me note that down. And have you ever been told you have liver trouble, such as liver cirrhosis?
No, not yet.
Hmm. Okay. And after heavy drinking, have you ever had delirium, or severe shaking, or heard voices, or seen some things that were not there?
No, I haven't experienced any of that.
Okay. And then have you ever gone to anyone for help about your drinking? Like, asking for help, that you have a problem?
No, this is my first time.
And have you ever been to hospital because of it?
No.
And the final question would be, have you ever been arrested for drunk driving or, driving after drinking?
No, but I have had some close calls.
hmm Okay, let me note that down. Based on, like, as of now, based on all the questions that you answered, and it shows that you have a moderate, but I think significant issues. The scoring of this assessment shows it. And this aligns closely with the results that we, preliminary results that we got from the previous assessment. How does that resonate with you?
It's eye-opening. I mean, this clarity is painful, but necessary
hmm
for me to face the reality.
hmm Yeah. And Stephen, to know your alcohol usage and your problems much better, I would just like to go through a few more uh, questions, or maybe we can consider that as, trying to get your history of drug usage and everything. Are you comfortable with it?
So,
Okay. So, Stephen, can you describe the role, alcohol has, played in your family as of now?
sure. So, as I've been saying, alcohol has
hmm
been part of my life for as long as I can remember.
hmm
I come from a Romanian family where drinking is more like part of culture,
hmm
especially for men. And almost all men in my family drink heavily, be
Oh.
it my uncles, my older
hmm
brothers, even some cousins.
hmm
At family gatherings, it's very common for men to drink to the point of getting completely drunk, and sometimes
hmm
it also leads to fights or arguments.
hmm
I remember being very young and watching this happen. It
hmm
just felt very normal.
hmm
My parents weren't big drinkers themselves, but they
hmm
never really stopped anyone else either. It
hmm
was more like accepted.
hmm
That's probably why I never questioned my own drinking until now.
hmm
Like I've internalized the idea that alcohol is part of socializing,
hmm
part of coping, part of being a man.
hmm
But deep down, I think I've always known it wasn't healthy.
And like, it sounds like alcohol was deeply normalized in your early environment, and that's an important insight. So tell me more about how alcohol has impacted your relationships, especially with Elena and your son.
Well, my relationship with Elena has really
hmm
deteriorated over the past couple of years.
hmm
She's frustrated, scared, and I know I've broken her trust. When I
hmm
disappear for a night after,
hmm
a lot of drinking and come home next day with no memory of where I
hmm
was, it terrifies her. She's
hmm
even threatened to leave, and honestly, I can't blame her. It's
Yeah.
not just that I drink, it's how it affects my
hmm
mood, my
hmm
presence, or my ability to be there for her and for Constantine, my
hmm
son. And
hmm
with my son, I feel like I'm like a stranger, He's three
Yeah.
now, and
Yeah.
I've missed so many moments because I've either been drinking out or recovering.
hmm
I always tell myself I'll do better when he's older, when
hmm
he can talk more or play sports with me, but I know that's just a way of
Yeah.
me avoiding guilt. I
hmm
hate that I'm not able to be the father I want to be,
hmm
and I hate that Elena is starting to see me as some unreliable, someone who needs to be managed instead
hmm
of supporting person.
Yep.
And alcohol has put like this wall between me and the
hmm
people I love the most.
That must be incredibly painful, Stephen. I get it, and I can hear that you care deeply about your family and want to rebuild that connection that you have with them. So, where are you currently living, though?
We live in a semi-detached home near downtown.
hmm
It's a decent place, but Elena
hmm
wants to move in a bigger house, somewhere in a nicer area
hmm
with better schools. I want that too, but I just don't see how we can afford it right now, especially when my business is also struggling and my drinking just getting in the
hmm
way. We've had fights about it, and she thinks
hmm
I'm ambitious. I'm not ambitious enough.
hmm
But the truth is, I'm just overwhelmed.
hmm
Sometimes I drink just to stop thinking about all the things that I can't seem to provide.
Yeah. So the housing issue has become symbolic of bigger stresses and pressures that you're carrying right now. So, what's your current work situation? How your work life is as of now?
I run my own structural engineering business. It's something I
hmm
started 2 years ago. I
Yeah.
wanted more freedom and believed I could build something from the ground up.
hmm
At first, things were okay. I had few good contracts, but then the past year has been tough. Fewer jobs, more competition, and networking has become stressful.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have to drink just to make it through those events.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I've lost out on opportunities because of my drinking. Either I don't follow up with people or I just show up hungover. Lately, I've
Mm-hmm.
been thinking about going back to the company I used to work for,
Yeah.
but I'm just scared people will see me as a failure for not making the business work.
Mm-hmm.
And that thought really, eats away at me.
Yeah. So that sounds like a huge internal conflict, wanting to succeed on your own, but then also feeling stuck at the same time. And I do get it. So, Stephen, can you also describe the role alcohol has played in your family?
Sure, I mean, alcohol has been part of my life as long as I remember.
Mm-hmm.
And I come from a Romanian family, as I mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
where drinking is part of culture, especially within men. And all of my uncles, brothers, and cousins,
Mm-hmm.
as I said before, it's very common for men to drink at those
Mm-hmm.
parties. And it's just that idea of drinking, has never felt wrong, and it's been part of my family and the culture. So growing up, I've always accepted it as being the normal, but now I just know it's not healthy.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like, again, like alcohol or drinking alcohol was deeply kind of normalized in your early family environment. And again, it's also a deeply important insight that you gave me. So, how are things financially at the moment?
As you can imagine, they are not great. With the
Mm-hmm.
business slowing down and my
Mm-hmm.
drinking getting worse, money is
Mm-hmm.
tight. And I've missed out on jobs and haven't been most reliable with invoices or follow-ups. Plus, drinking costs money. So
Mm-hmm.
I've had to cover hotel bills after blacking out. We're just
Yeah.
barely managing to keep up with the bills.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see the stress it's putting on Elena. And I feel guilty, like as if I'm letting down my family.
And that must be a heavy weight to carry. It's understandable that this would feel overwhelming. But outside of your drinking, what do you enjoy doing?
Honestly, I don't really know anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I used to love hiking, watching architectural documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all my free time is just either spent drinking, recovering, or working. I avoid a lot of social situations unless
Yep.
alcohol is involved. Otherwise, I just feel awkward. And I can't even remember the last time I had a sober weekend and actually enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like alcohol has taken over your leisure time and social outlets as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And have you had any legal issues related to alcohol?
Not officially, but I've driven after drinking more times than I'd like to
Mm-hmm.
admit. I've had a couple
Mm-hmm.
of close calls and it scares me now.
Mm-hmm.
I've realized it's only a matter of time if I keep going like this.
Mm-hmm. And that's a serious concern as well, because it's good that you're aware of the risk, and it's something that we can definitely work on. And yeah, so have you ever noticed any health problems that you're believing are related to your drinking habits?
Mm, yes, I would say I really get bad hangovers and sometimes I'm, a bit shaky in the mornings.
Yeah.
I've had frequent headaches, my stomach feels off most of the days,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm constantly tired. There's also this anxiety I carry all the time. It's like a knot in my stomach that,
Mm-hmm.
only eases when I drink.
Mm-hmm.
And I've even avoided going to doctor because I'm afraid of what they may say.
And that sounds really difficult, like both physically and emotionally, and avoiding the medical care because of the fear is very, very common these days. And when somebody is struggling with alcohol, it's something that we can also address together. So, have you ever experienced any abuse or assault, either in childhood or adulthood? I know it's not related to drinking, but just wanted to know.
No, no, I haven't. I've been very fortunate in that regard. My
Hmm.
parents were strict, but
Hmm.
they weren't abusive, and
Hmm.
still emotional distance was always there, I would say.
Hmm. Thanks for sharing that. And I get it. Like emotional neglect can also leave its own marks, even when physical abuse isn't there, present actually. So, have you ever sought help before, either for alcohol? I know you answered one of these questions in one of the assessments, but just I wanted to ask so that you can describe it a little further. So, have you ever sought any help before for alcoholism or your mental health specifically?
No, like as you mentioned before, I
Mm-hmm.
haven't gone for any help. I think in the past I've always convinced myself I could handle it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I didn't want to admit that things were out of control. And this is the first time I've actually reached out and committed to sitting down with someone regarding this issue.
And that's a huge step, Stephen. Seeking help, shows strength, not just weakness. And I want to acknowledge your courage and that you told me about it. So are there any current crisis or, issues that you feel that needs any immediate attention as a result?
The biggest thing is Elena threatening to leave me.
Mm-hmm.
That was my wake up call. And she said if I black her again or disappear without contact, she'll take our son and move out. Just
Mm-hmm.
that thought of losing them keeps me up at night.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm here, and I need to fix this before it's too late.
Mm-hmm. And that's an incredibly strong motivator. So let's work together to make sure that this doesn't become your reality. So yeah. And I also want to know, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed do you feel to making changes in your alcohol use that you're having right now?
I'd say an 8, maybe even
Hmm.
higher. I
Hmm.
know it won't be easy, but I've never felt more determined than I do now.
Yeah.
I just need
Hmm.
some help figuring out how to, actually
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. And that's a very encouraging, place to start. Like your motivation and your willingness to are key parts of this whole process that we will go through later. So, what personal strengths do you think that you have that will support you in your recovery or in this journey of recovery?
I would say, I would say that I'm loyal, and
Hmm. Yeah.
that's something that when I care about something or someone, I don't give up easily.
Hmm.
And then I'm also resourceful. I've built a business from scratch,
Hmm.
and I'm starting to realize that I'm, stronger than I thought. I just didn't know how to ask for help before.
Hmm. And like those are, Stephen, are powerful qualities to have. And we absolutely draw on those in your treatment as well. So let's talk about your treatment plan goals. Like, let's talk about your goals. Like, what would you like to achieve in this short term? Like, and what do you hope for in the long term as well?
I mean, so for short term, I would want to stop blacking out, firstly, and
Hmm.
start gaining back control.
Hmm.
Have some sober days, show Elena I'm serious, and
Uh-huh.
be more present with my son.
Yeah.
And then long term, of course, I want to be completely sober, rebuild the trust and
Yeah.
live a life where alcohol isn't the center of everything.
Yeah.
I want to look back and say this was the moment I turned my life around.
Yeah. And those are, powerful goals, and you already taken the first steps. We create a plan that supports you step by step towards those changes that you desire for. And, Stephen, you have accomplished a significant work today. Based on our discussion and assessments, it seems clear to me that you need a specialized alcohol treatment along with ongoing counseling will be highly beneficial for you for addressing your underlying anxieties as well as your marital concerns and stress management. So these are just preliminary assessments that I just told you. Like, how do you feel about this proposed path forward that we will discuss in later, but just wanted to know?
No, I mean, I'm nervous, but I'm
Hmm.
also hopeful. I
Hmm.
want to change more than I've ever wanted anything.
Hmm.
And I know it'll be tough, but I don't want to lose my family or myself.
Hmm.
I just want to build something better.
Yeah, and your resolve is admirable, Stephen, and it will greatly aid in your recovery. Like, let's schedule for our next session where we will touch base, on our treatment plan, the final plan, and then we will also discuss referrals if needed. And then you have taken a brave and important step today. That's what I can tell.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's reassuring to know that I'm supported.
Yeah.
I After this talk, I already feel less alone, just having said all this out loud.
Yeah. Sometimes getting everything out is very, you know, good for yourself, and it calms your mind, your heart. You're very welcome, Stephen. I look forward to supporting you through every step of this process. So see you next week.
See you.